Good morning Kasturians and welcome to video 2 of chapter The Expansion of British Power in India. In this chapter we will see how the British they established their control on Bengal after the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. So let's start. See, Bengal was one of the richest provinces of India of that time. Also, as in the previous video we have seen that the Britishers they came merely as traders. So when we are involved in trade, we have to pay certain taxes. And the Britishers they managed to get trade concessions and privileges from the Mughal emperors. It was after the death of Aurangzeb that the Mughal empire declined, and with this declining power of Mughal empire, the British traders belonging to the East India Company they started getting benefited. They started taking advantage and they started increasing or intensify their operations in Bengal. In 1717 the British traders they got exclusive rights to trade in Bengal without paying any customs duty. Now what is customs duty? See, it's a trade tax which is imposed when the goods are transported from international borders. Means कि the Britishers they were transporting goods from England to India, and they were transporting the raw materials from India to England. So on such transport, the customs duty, that is the tax, was to be imposed, but they got exclusive rights to trade with India through Bengal without paying any customs duty. However, there was some issue that only the company was given the right to trade without paying any customs duty, but some of the officials of the East India Company they themselves started their private trade, and they also didn't pay the customs duty, and when demanded they denied that we have got concessions from customs duty, so we will not pay. This became a major concern for the ruling authority of Bengal. At that time there was Nawab's system, and Murshid Quli Khan was the ruler or Nawab of Bengal. Then he was succeeded by Shujauddin and Ali Wardi Khan. These three, one by one, they tried to stop the company officials, and they said either you pay the customs duty, otherwise the trade in Bengal will be stopped. But the company officials didn't took care of this. Finally, the Nawab issued an order, and in this order two conditions were there. What were the two conditions? First, as I told, that the company officials, some of the company officials, they started their own private trade, and also even the company got the rights to trade without paying any customs duty. These officials were also not paying. So the first condition was the company officials engaged in private trade have to pay the customs duty, or the privilege of not paying the customs duty will be taken over, or it will be rolled back altogether. Means the company official as well as the entire company will have to pay the customs duty, only then they can trade with the Indian soil using Bengal's land. Second, the company as with the declining Mughal power, the company started intensifying its operations. It started building new forts and new factories. So it was the second condition, that the company has to stop further fortifications in Bengal. But the company officials, they didn't even worried about this. Why? Because after the Carnatic Wars, in which the Britishers, they defeated the French both in India and outside India, that is in Europe, the company became more confident, and in order to secure its trade, it decided that now we have to annex Indian territories for a better trading operation. In 1756, this was the year, see, 1717, and then these matters, they started boiling up. But it was in the year 1756 when Sirajud-Dowlah, he became the Nawab of Bengal. He said the company officials to remove all the forts, and when the company neglected, Sirajud-Dowlah sent his troops and he occupied the factories or the forts of British East India Company, which were constructed in Kolkata, that is Calcutta. Now, when this happened, the British officials, it was an alarming signal to them. They decided that now the time has come to take control of Bengal, but indirectly. So what we can do is ki we can put a puppet Bengal, a puppet Nawab in Bengal in place of Sirajud-Dowlah, and ultimately the result was the Battle of Plassey, in which on 23rd June 1757, the armies of Sirajud-Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal, and the East India Company, they met at Palasi, Palasi. Now it is known as Plassey. The British forces were led by General Robert Clive, and Robert Clive, he bribed the commander-in-chief of Nawab Sirajud-Dowlah, who was named as Mir Jafar, and the army who was loyal to Mir Jafar, they declared that they will not participate in the war. And the richest banker of Bengal, Jagat Seth, also refused to help Nawab. Now, majority of the army was not fighting. Even the bankers supported, neglected to support or finance the war. Ultimately, Sirajud-Dowlah was defeated in the war, and Mir Jafar, as a reward for his conspiracy which he had done towards the Bengal, he was made the Nawab of Bengal. After the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar, he was made the ruler of Bengal or Nawab of Bengal, but he was not a ruler. He was actually a puppet in the hands of the British East India Company officials. They started using him the way they wanted. They started asking for money. Earlier they were paying money as customs duty, and from that they also got concession, but now they started demanding money from uh, Mir Jafar. And when he was not able to meet the demands of the British, Mir Qasim was made the Nawab of Bengal, and the company got the right to collect revenue of the districts of Burdwan, Midnapur and Chittagong. That is, the company officials, they came to be known as Nabobs. When Mir Qasim, he tried to overcome the shadow of the British, or he tried to free himself from their control, Mir Qasim dismissed the court officials who were in favor of the British, and he started training his army by hiring some European experts. all the duties on internal trade were abolished. And why this was done? So that the Indian and British merchants, they can trade on equal terms. Actually the Britishers, they were paying less for purchasing the raw material from India, and they were charging high by selling their finished factory made products in India. What they were paying less and what they were charging, that was the tax, and this tax difference was draining India's wealth. So he abolished all the duties. Who? Mir Qasim. To in order to ensure equal trading terms for both Indian and British merchants. Now the Britishers, since they were having an upper hand in Bengal, it was almost unacceptable and unbearable for them, and their trade monopoly was at a stake. So they decided to depose Mir Qasim, and the Britishers, they defeated Mir Qasim. When defeated, he fled to Awadh, and he formed an alliance with Sujauddaulah, the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam, the Mughal emperor. Shah Alam too, the Mughal emperor, and the army of these three, they met the British forces at Buxar on 22nd October 1764, where the army led by the Nawab of Awadh Sujauddaulah and Shah Alam to the Mughal emperor and Mir Qasim, it was defeated, and Shah Alam too was forced to sign a treaty in which he granted the company the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Sujauddaulah was made to pay rupees 50 lakh as war damages, and Mir Qasim was deposed, and Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. So this battle of Plassey, when we see, it was a turning point. That is, a small trading company was transformed into a supreme political power. Later on, the Battle of Buxar made the company, rather than a political power, to an administrative power, and the Indian, it also came into light. The Indian rulers were weak, and now the time for company has come to take over the control of India. And this is how these two battles, they wrote the misfortune for India. That's all we have in this video. In the next video we will see the growth of Indian influence. Thank you and have a nice day.